And here we have what I've eventually come to see. It's a beautiful, amazing, majestic almost. I mean, there's nothing else quite like that, is there? And that's the Sitka spruce. You could just sit there and admire it for a very long time. That's got a height of, I guess, I could do a calculated guess, but I'm going to do just a rough guess. That's about 40 metres, 50 metres. They go 60 up to even 100, I believe, which is quite staggering, isn't it? It's our most used tree, and probably not really that well known. I don't think many people would know a Sitka spruce if they actually come across it. But yeah, this is one that has been around for many years, up to 200-300 I believe. It's one of the biggest of the conifers. I think it's the 4th biggest. But it's a giant, it's almost like a Jurassic tree, something that you'd see from prehistoric times. Let's go a bit closer. The bark should be scaly, like a dragon skin. And on older specimens can grow very thick, inch thick. But yeah, it's flaky skinned. It does have sap running out of it, which is blooming useful. I didn't know that. I know that the spruce, or the Sitka spruce especially, has got a very nice smell. I'm not sure if that carries through with the sap, but I shall give it a go tonight. I shall scrape a bit up and just see how it smells on a burner. The smell is a sweet, sweet pine. It's, well, it's a Christmas tree, basically. I'm sure the older people who might be watching this will definitely know what the traditional Christmas tree is like, where it's chucking its needles everywhere. Not so common these days, but yes, a lot of people still carry on the tradition. Massive tree. This is definitely one of the biggest in this area. Unfortunately that one's had its day. There is a younger one coming up, but it's doing okay. They do suffer problems from disease, the Sitka spruce. Also there is a beetle that bores in specifically. If there's a bit of damage like that, is potentially, it could be exactly what happened with that, because they do grow a lot bigger left alone, and they often grow in little groups like this. Is a group of 3 here. There might be a couple over the back there. No, it's just 3, which is a shame. I'd like to see some younger growth come up with this. It is easy to grow. You just need to take a few of the extra large cones home. Which I don't know if we've got anything left here. Oh, here we go. Not the best time of the year perhaps to be collecting the seeds, but if you take them home, say when they're a little bit more closed up, you can dry them out, and then after a few weeks just give them taps and you'll get all these little seed pods come out, which you can then pop in your nursery or anything with a bit of humidity, because that's one of the key features of the Sitka spruce, is that it loves a lot of mist type weather, so it's happy to grow on the coasts with the sea mists. But that said, it prefers, in our country for example, the wetter side of the country, which is Wales, over the west side of the country, Wales and Cornwall, Devon, around that region. But yeah, Wales primarily is where you would find most Sitka, and also Ireland. because obviously they get a lot of rain in Ireland, which is great for these Sitka spruce. It might not be great for my Irish friends, but it is good for this tree. The cone is quite distinctive. It's quite soft at this stage, and you'll see the shape of the little things are quite jagged, and also the size is an indication. If you get anything larger than that, it's usually a Norway spruce. So I'm not sure there's any Norway spruce in this woods. I haven't spotted any yet. I just have found another one of these trees though over the back there. Once you get your eye on with them, they're easy to spot. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's across this little pond, because they're right next to this pond, because they like this wet. And yeah, that's good to see. There's also a lot of alder around this region. You can tell because it's still hanging on to its little cones and trying to. Yeah, so this is a beautiful little spot to sit down and have a cup of coffee. I just wish I had thought of it earlier and bought my coffee. Put my back up against that perhaps sticky tree, so maybe not. What else is there with this? Its name, oh dear, here we go. It's part of the Picea family, and it is called Picea sitchensis, I believe. You might want to double check that. I always try to remember the words in 3 syllables if possible, and sitchensis is memorable. Comical, isn't it? Well, you know, all those silly names. They often do give reasons. Picea, I'm guessing Pisces meaning water. Sitchensis. Right, we're stabbing in the dark a bit with that one. But Picea, water. It likes the mist. Maybe Sitchensis is something to do with the air mist, or something like the air, water, meaning mist. Who knows? I wanted to get a look at that one over there, but I think that's good enough from a distance. There is actually a few over there, so that is a good sign. By the way, not a very friendly tree at all, like a fir or a pine. Spruce, as you might remember from Christmas trees, it's quite stabby. It's not very comfortable to squeeze it, so that's another great sign. It can have a blue tinge to it from the underside, because there is actually a white stripe on the needle. It's green and white, and it kind of gives the illusion of blue when you look up at it, and that's on the underside of the needles. The top side of the needles are glossy and spiky, and yeah, pain in the butt at Christmas time, but that smell is something else. And yeah, so there we have the Sitka spruce. Its uses is largely mass amounts of wood. It was introduced here. It's not native. It was brought here a couple hundred years ago or something, probably just before the old Prince Albert thing, and it was found to be a very good, strong, resilient tree, and that's what I'm going to name it. Sitka spruce, the resilient one, because that seems to fit. Yeah, it's very liked in the 1800s. 1700s, 1800 odd, and was planted in quite large amounts. But then it had a resurgence just after the World War II, between the periods of 1960 and 1990 or something. They actually planted lots and lots of acreage in England and UK mainland. So it was a plantation tree because it's blooming good for paper and all those boring things where you need a lot of it. It's a good wood, and well liked, but also there has got a negative following with it. Mainly, I think, because of the way that we cultivate trees in this country. It was mentioned on my channel earlier that here we have the daffodils. Oh, beautiful. I just want to pick it. Maybe when they're out I'll pick a few, because I just can't help but pick daffodils when I see them. It's a bit of a thing of mine. I haven't done a lot of work with them. So it's massively planted, vast amounts of acreage with it. It is now currently about 25% of all our wood, which is a very large amount. Really, that we use this amazing tree for. But yeah, I guess it was light because it grows very fast. Rapid, there's another R. It can grow to a good size height even after just 50 years. And our management system, there's 3 types of management where you leave the forest. Another type of management is where you cut back a certain age of tree and any problematic trees as well. And the third method is where you just take out the problematic trees. So unfortunately with Sitka spruce and these diseases and ash diseases, things like that, we grow them in plantations where they're nearly all the same age, and so their diseases, and they're hit with the diseases, they're not able to cope with it so well, whereas if they were a mixed age it'd be far better. And I think that's part of this conspiracy theory that someone commented on with my trees. He seemed quite knowledgeable, but he seemed to think that it was maybe introduced by foreign parties. I'm not so sure about that. I think that might just be a little bit of a conspiracy. I leave an open mind with everything, but I can't imagine that is the case. I think it's more the fact that we don't have a wide range of ages in the woods. We take out the old, or even the young in some cases, and leave a certain type, whereas we should be leaving a lot of trees alone, quite frankly, to fill out their, not just for profit, but actually for the good of the tree. Just leave a few, let them grow old, because they can grow to a mighty age. So there we have it. I think we'll wrap it up there for this. Another bunch of daffodils and some tutsum in the background. There's so much springing to life at the moment, I don't know where to stop. I mean, the hawthorn's coming out, there's all kinds of things, the goat's willow. I've been distracted doing this video because it's just been so many things to look at, quite frankly. It's been a gorgeous walk. I hope you enjoyed it. and maybe learn a couple of things. But yeah, Sitka spruce, big thumbs up for our unsung hero. Really, not many people know about it, but it really is a true champion of our woods, especially over the west side. And we're very fortunate to have it, I think. But yeah, like I say, that was quite rare. It's only in this hollow here where it's very misty that they're there. Otherwise there's very few and far between in this area. So I'm quite lucky to have that. Not on my doorstep, but not too far away. Although that said, I think this might be nearer a mile walk. Take care guys, thanks for watching. Check out my other tree videos if you're interested. It's going to be one tree at a time, no rush. And hopefully tell you a little tale about it as well. Oh, mythology. Yeah. Sitka spruce. Try and dig that up. In mythology, it is often linked, I think it's a little bit hairy here, but stick with it. It's often linked to the Greek god Artemis. And Artemis is known as being resilient. The things he treasures or believes in is resilience, revival, and resistance, and lots of other R words, it seems. Probably should have looked up a bit more mythology about this tree, because I'm sure there is a lot more. But I suppose we had the Prince Albert and Queen Victoria to maybe remember this tree by. Failing that, Christmas tree. Okay, thanks for watching guys. Have a beautiful day.